I want you to think about some of the major red flags that we sometimes ignore. Yes, I don't want this podcast to be focused on just the red flags, but it's important to start picturing these so that we can identify the real red flags that have and show us signs that there is an issue there. Maybe it's a leader that is hyper controlling. I'm not talking about leadering, but I'm talking about hyper controlling every aspect. Another big one that I often hear and that I've experienced myself and that I've lied to about myself oftentimes is when there is no rest or Sabbath available for the team. That's not to say on paper that they say that it's available. Oftentimes I've experienced that. No, you get these. Oh yeah, we give you these days off. But then when those days come up, it's like, well, there's a reason and an excuse. These are more voluntary. These are more, I'm not talking about on paper. I'm talking about, is this what is encouraged within your church, within your ministry? Or when there's wounds, are the wounds addressed and worked on and healed, or are the wounds silenced and pushed away? Here's one of the big ones. For many churches that I've interviewed for, talked with, and worked with, this is one of the biggest things I hear over and over. We have such a high volunteer turnover rate. Sometimes it could be due to other things, but a lot of times that is a sign that there's a deeper issue there. If volunteers don't want to stay around for a certain amount of time, then maybe there's a deeper wound or issue that needs to be addressed there. Or one of the other big ones is when someone wants to have a discussion, a hard one about the culture or about things that were said, things that were done, the expectations. It gets pushed away and we're told, well, that's rebellion. You can't do that. We don't talk about that here. See, I think we've lost sight of what healthy ministry looks like. And truthfully, many of us only realize that there's an issue when we're limping away, wounded from the battle, bleeding out. And at that point, that's when we say, I don't think this was good. For me, I was born with a skin disorder, epidermolysis bullosa simplex. I know that is a really, really big medical term. We just call it EBS for short. But basically what it means is there's not enough connective tissue between the layers of my skin. And so because of that, from the moment I was born, heat, friction, stress, and just for the heck of it, sometimes my skin would blister and it's like a second-degree burn. I've had tiny blisters. I've had huge blisters. But what it means is this. From almost the moment I was born, I have not lived without physical pain. Whether it's tiny little things that I'm pushing away or out of my mind, or big things that feels like I'm being jabbed or whatever. There is constant pain that I've lived in. And what I learned from myself was I had to push away that pain. I had to ignore that pain if I was going to continue on with life. And sadly, I feel like not only myself, but many of us have learned that we take the hurt and the pain ministry-wise and we squash it. We silence it. We push it away. Because here's the thing. When the pain is invisible, we pretend like it's not real. And we do that, and we push it down, and we shove it down, and we ignore it until we finally get to the point where we break down. And then everyone wonders what happened. Here's the thing. Real, healthy churches and ministries ask questions that are tougher and not ones that are like rhetorical. Like these are questions that should be being asked to get to a deeper level within our church and to address the real health in our church. Are our people being discipled? I feel like this is one of the biggest things that a lot of churches struggle with, and one thing that God even had to work on me with. Are we a revolving door of people coming through, or are they actually being discipled? And most importantly, being discipled on how to be disciples and followers of Christ, not of the pastor. Are our leaders healthy? Like really healthy. Not are they performing good? Not are they getting the numbers and all that kind of stuff, but are they healthy? Is our staff burning out? Or are they thriving? It kind of goes with the last one, but I never want to work for a church or have people under me that aren't thriving. I don't want them to feel like they got through the end of like a semester by the skin of their teeth and they're like, I need a break. I need a break. I want them to be thriving. I want them to walk into whatever ministry that we're running, excited to be there, happy to be there. Why? Because they are growing as much as they are pouring out. And it's a place where they feel accepted and affirmed, and they are feeling joy just being there.